Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources regarding mining activities in Samburu County. In the statement, the committee should, 1, inquire on the ongoing mining activities in Samburu County, specifically determining whether adequate public participation was conducted prior to the commencement of these activities. Secondly, provide details of all local and foreign entities engaged in the mining operations and confirm whether they are licensed and compliant with the mining strategic mineral, specifically regulations of 2017. And third, assess the benefits accruing to the local community from these mining activities and establish whether individuals whose land is being utilized for the mining purposes have been compensated. Senator Ezena Lemalitian, date 26 September 2024. I have a second statement.
Proceed, Senator, with a second statement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to the Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Roads, Transportation and Housing regarding the dilapidated state of roads and distribution of budget allocation towards road projects in Samburu County. In the statement, the committee should, 1, provide a comprehensive report on the status of all roads within Samburu County under the jurisdiction of the county government, stating the challenges that have contributed to the dilapidated state of certain roads and enumerate areas most affected. Secondly, disclose the total budgetary allocation in the financial year 2023-2024 and financial year 2024-2025 for road construction, repair, maintenance by the county government of Samburu, disclosing how the budget has been distributed among various road projects with details of the specific allocations for different road segments, specifying how much has been utilized so far on new road construction projects and for maintenance of existing ones, along with expected timelines for completion of such projects. Thirdly, outline any plans by the county government to carry out maintenance on the deteriorating roads with specific focus on inspection frequency and criteria for prioritizing repairs, including the expected timelines for the repair and rehabilitation of dilapidated roads. And last but not least, state measures put in place to ensure transparency, accountability in the use of funds earmarked for road projects in Samburu County, explaining how the county government verifies progress and adherence to project timelines. Senator Ezena Lemalitian, 1st of October. Thank you.
Senator Karungo Wadhangwa.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Yeah, indeed, I am Karungo Wadhangwa, the Senator of Kiambu. Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 56-1B to make a statement on the activities of the Standing Committee on Roads, Transportation and Housing for the period commencing 1st of April 2024 to 30th June 2024. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Standing Committee on Road, Transportation and Housing is established under Standing Order 228-3 of the Senate Standing Orders and is mandated to consider all matters relating to transport, roads, public works, housing, construction and maintenance of roads, rails and buildings, seaports and communication. Mr. Speaker, sir, during the period under consideration, the committee held 18 sittings. The committee considered 2 bills, 1 legislative proposal, 1 petition, and 17 statements. And with me that I'll table, attached to this statement is a schedule of legislative business considered by the committee. During the period under review, 7 statements that have been referred to the committee in the previous reporting periods were considered but not concluded because the committee sought supplementary information from the respective government agencies. The committee has, however, received several responses to statement to which it intends to consider during a retreat of the committee. Mr. Speaker, sir, the committee adopted a methodology of consideration of statements where it invites senators who request for statements referred to the committee before seeking a response from the relevant government agencies. Mr. Speaker, the purpose of this methodology is to apprise the committee on the nature of the statement, information gathering, policy review or intervention, deviation of law or processes that would call for oversight on the part of the committee. Reduce the number of supplementary issues that are sought from the statements and to provide clarity to an issue before the committee seeks for a response to the statement. If you allow me, Mr. Speaker, just for clarity, what I'm trying to say is that once we receive the statement from the Speaker, before we direct it to the agencies or government agencies to get a response, we first of all invite the senator who sought that statement so that they can give us more information, because we understood that our statements at this House, they are over-edited, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, in the reporting period, the committee held the following two consultative meetings. One, with the Ministry of Lands, Public Works, Housing and Urban Development, to deliberate on conditional grants to counties on the Kenya Urban Support Program, that is KUSIP 2, and the Kenya Informal Settlement Improvement Project, that is KISIP 2. The committee will be further engaging the Ministry of Lands, Public Works, Housing and Urban Development to ensure that eligible counties are prepared to absorb the funds from the grants. That is because we noted most counties are not prepared to absorb these funds, Mr. Speaker. Or, Madam Speaker, B, with the Ministry of Roads and Transport to deliberate on the conditional grant to counties on the Roads Maintenance Levy Fund, RMLF. The committee established that the Ministry of Roads and Transport was not willing to disburse the RMLF funds to counties in pretext of being required not to do so by the National Assembly through a resolution of 28 September 2023. The same is evidenced by the failure of the National Assembly to include the RMLF share to counties in the County Government Additional Allocation Bill 2024. And in this one, we hope the new CS, Mr. Chilchil, will agree with the committee on how to give these funds to the counties. Mr. Speaker, sir, Madam Speaker, sorry, in this period, the committee visited the Roads and Transport Authority of the United Arab Emirates so as to enhance the capacity of the committee on policy framework and operations in the areas of bus rapid transit system and road tolling system. Madam Speaker, the committee experienced the following challenges. One, delayed response to statements, petitions, and inquiries by government agencies. The committee experienced cases of delayed response to information, sought partly because some statements were not clear as to where to seek the information between the national government agencies and the county governments. Madam Speaker, number two, we also experienced the following challenge: non-attendance of the meetings to consider responses to statements by senators who requested the statements. This delayed conclusion of the statement. And Madam Speaker, here, the committee also adopted another methodology by inviting the senators to our committee through letters, so that we can file those letters, and whenever they are needed, we can produce to the Senate to show that so-and-so failed to appear before the committee, so that once we consider the statement without the Senate in question, nobody would blame the committee, Madam Speaker. And with that, Madam Speaker, I thank you. My name, Karungo Wadhangwa, Senator of Kiambu, Chairperson, Committee on Road, Transportation and Housing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Karungo Wadhangwa. I believe the next statement was to be issued by the Senate Majority Leader. So he's not here. So next order.
Beth Siango.
Mr. Speaker, I request to read on her behalf as per her request. May I proceed?
Proceed, Honorable Senator.
Thank you so much. On the registration and licensing of early childhood development education, ECDE centers. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Education regarding the registration, licensing, governance, and management of early childhood development and education centers across the country. Mr. Speaker, while county governments are responsible for primary education, the registration, license, and management of ECDC centers remain under the national government. Though these functions should be devolved as provided for under Part 2 of the 4th Schedule of the Constitution. In the statement, the committee should, 1, examine the legality of certain centers of the Basic Education Act 2013, such as Section 17, which establishes county education boards as national government agencies. 2, explain the reasons for the delay in developing the registration, licensing, governance, and management of ECD centers to county governments. And lastly, outline any measures the national government is taking in collaboration with the county governments to ensure the full devolution of these functions in line with the Constitution of Kenya 2010. Senator Beth Siango. Thank you.
Senator Hamida Kibwana. Senator Chimera, you may proceed to read Senator Wakoli's request for a statement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On behalf of the Honorable Senator David Wakoli, Senator for Bungoma County, I wish to request for a statement on the management of Kitinda Dairy Farmers Cooperative Society. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 531 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Trade, Industrialization and Tourism regarding the management of Kitinda Dairy Farmers Cooperative Society in Bungoma County. In the statement, the committee should, number 1, explain the governance structure of the Kitinda Dairy Farmers Cooperative Society, disclosing the names of the members of the management and supervisory committees, the respective number of shares held by these members, as well as the duration for which they have held the shares. Number 2, provide a list of all members of the cooperative society, indicating the number of shares held by each member and when they were last paid dividends. Number 3, table the minutes of the most recent special or annual general meeting of the cooperative society, as well as the financial statements of the society for the last 2 years, specifying the respective incomes and expenditures. Number 4, outline the reforms undertaken by the current management committee since assuming control of the cooperative society, indicating the current vis-a-vis previous milk intake and debt portfolio. And lastly, Mr. Speaker, explain why the current managing director was appointed to the position despite having been previously dismissed from the society on fraud allegations. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Tabitha Mutinda, you may proceed to read the statement by Senator Hamida Kibwana.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On behalf of Senator Hamida Kibwana, I would like to read her statement on the rise of entertainment joints and nightclubs in residential areas within Nairobi City County. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1, seek a statement from the Standing Committee of National Security, Defense, and Foreign Relations regarding the increasing number of entertainment joints and nightclubs operating within residential areas in Nairobi County. In the statement, the committee should, 1, determine whether the rise of this establishment is due to a licensing or regulatory gap, and whether the relevant authorities are enforcing zoning laws effectively. Secondly, provide details on the licensing process for nightclubs and entertainment joints in residential areas, and whether specific guidelines exist to protect residential zones from such commercial activities. 3, investigate the impact of these establishments on children and teenagers, particularly in terms of exposure to noise, inappropriate behavior, and social vices like drugs and substance abuse. 4, recommend measures to mitigate the negative effects of these establishments with a focus of protection of minors and maintenance of peace and safety in communities. And lastly, Mr. Speaker, establish the role of county and national government authorities in regulating such establishment and identify policy gaps that need addressing to enhance enforcement of laws and protection of residential areas. This is on behalf of Senator Hamida Kibwana.
Senator Mandago.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Education regarding the placement of students in public and private universities. In the statement, the committee should, 1, provide a status report on the number of students allocated to each public and private university in the last 3 intakes and the criteria used for such allocation, outlining the declared capacity of each university versus the actual student enrollment. 2, state the criteria used to determine the cut-off points for each course and explain the variance of cut-off points for similar courses across different universities. 3, disclose the budgeted and actual capitation dispersed to each university, along with total funding to public universities over the last 3 years. 4, report on the number of teaching staff in all public universities and confirm compliance.
Order, honorable senators.
4,
Majority leader should take a lead in.
4, report on the number of teaching staff in all public universities and confirm compliance with the approved lecturer to student ratio. 5, provide details of the number of students placed in private universities during the most recent intake, as well as policy documents, regulations, and approvals explaining the capacity and financial challenges faced by public universities as a result of this. 6, explain whether public participation was conducted before the decision by the government to place students in private universities. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
What is the issue, Majority Leader?
I want to bring it to your attention that
Senator Eddy, Senator Funandi, Senator Wakili Sigei. As you take your seat, kindly read Standing Order 118. I'll come back to you later. Proceed.
Mr. Speaker, I just want to make a humble request to you to maybe you indulge us as a House, given that we have very important legislative business that we want to transact this afternoon at this Division of Revenue, that given that we have the requisite quorum in the House at this time, if you may permit, Speaker, in accordance with Standing Order number 1, that we do conduct that particular exercise, then we can revert back to statements immediately we are done. This is important, Mr. Speaker, given that counties continue to await the decision of Senate on this matter before, and there's still a long way out, especially given how the vote may turn out in the Senate, that may necessitate many other processes. So I want to humbly plead that if we may do that right now.
Very well. Pursuant to Standing Order 45-2, for the convenience of the House, I will move to rearrange the sequence of today's order paper so that we prosecute order number 10 and thereafter resume the normal flow as contained in today's order paper. Clerk, proceed.
Order number 10, Division of Revenue, Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bills number 38 of 2024. Second reading, division.
Sergeant at Arms, kindly ring the division bell for 5 minutes.